Welcome to day 2 on your way to food freedom. I am Dietitian Jamie. I am back in my vehicle at the gym because that's mom life. And I am just excited to dig into our topic for today. So if you caught the video from yesterday, I would love to hear what thoughts have bubbled up about food, about eating, about getting healthy, about whatever it is that you want to transform in your body. I would love to hear what thoughts bubbled up. If you haven't watched yesterday's video, that's okay. You are still welcome here. The replay is up. I also plan on sending all 3 replays out in an email by the end of the week here. But just to recap yesterday, we talked about you're in the right place if food stuff feels heavy, food stuff feels overwhelming, if you have a lot of anxiety or a lot of control issues around food, if you are frustrated and upset with diet culture. We talked about that. We went to church a little bit. We talked about Jesus. We talked about how the devil likes to twist and manipulate things that were meant for our good and make it full of condemnation and shame. And I believe that that is at the root of diet culture today. And what I asked you to do was I asked you to just tune in to your thoughts. Your self-talk is so powerful. What you whisper to yourself is so powerful. So much of it is like subconscious. You don't even think about it. You don't even realize you're doing it. And it is a hard but necessary work to tune in and to listen to that. So I know some of you did that. And if you have some thoughts from the last day that have bubbled to the surface, please drop them in the comments. I'd love to coach you on them live right now. But if not, because I know a lot of you are still catching replays, I have noticed in my work with clients that a lot of the thoughts bubble around 2 things. One is, actually it really boils down to one, but one is that food is good or bad, or they should be eating better, or they should be better at this by now, or this should be easier. Kind of all around like food or overwhelm, like where do I start? What do I do? The world is so confusing out there when I Google nutrition information. And we're going to tackle some of that tomorrow when we actually get to the practical steps. The bigger one that I really want to dive in today that I think a lot of you will relate to is a lack of love, a lack of and a lack of positive regard for your body. The vast majority of the time when people say, all right, I want to get healthy, I want to lose weight, I want to do all the things, it's coming from an energy of I don't like something about my body. Maybe they're trying on shorts because it's finally warm enough in Minnesota to wear shorts. And the shorts are a little tighter than they were at the end of season last year. And there's just that body shame and that body overwhelm and that frustration and feeling disappointed in yourself. This mentality of I need to fix something. Something's wrong with my body. And when I get it to where I want it, then I will feel like I'm valuable. Then I will feel like I'm worth it. Then I will feel energized to like show up and do my work and have a smile and meet new people. And we wait to have those feelings thinking that we will get to those feelings in a future state. Is that relating? Is that making sense? If so, give me some hearts and give me some comments. And it's just this mentality of disgust, and any change that is motivated from a desire to change something that is disliked or discussed is so rarely sustainable. And it's so motivated by feelings, and it's so easy when we're like that to jump to the next thing and to the next thing and to the next thing. And that's why we see people jumping on this diet and that diet, this plan. This year it's the Peloton bikes. You know, every year there's kind of what's the latest thing, what's the latest trend, what are bandwagon are people hopping onto. And it may be in your tendency to do that as well. Well, if I just was consistent. That's like the Sabbath school answer, you know? The Sabbath school answer is like Jesus, and the answer to like, what do you need to do to be healthy? I just need to be consistent. I'm going to say that a lack of consistency is a lack of value, because we act according to our identity. And so if you are not being consistent, that is telling me that you believe your body is not worthy of being consistent for. Now, we cannot change actions at the level of actions. We think, well, I must just have to create some different habits. I must force it. I must push through. We don't change action at the level of action, because action is simply a trickle down from feelings, and that is a trickle down from thoughts. So that is why I wanted to tune into some of these thoughts since we chatted yesterday, because we're going to do some work around that. Okay? So our goal is that we want to decide how you want to feel in the future. How do you want to feel? What are you working towards? Do you want to feel food freedom? Is that why you're here? Do you want to feel free around holidays, around events, when you're grocery shopping? Do you want that to feel lighter? Do you want to feel worthy? Do you want to feel appreciation? Do you want to feel respect from the people around you and from your peers? Do you want to feel proud of yourself and accomplished? Let me tell you that if you can't well up those feelings today, it is no easier to well up those feelings in a month or a year, whenever you actually accomplish that goal, or you lose that 20 pounds, or you follow that diet for 21 plus days, or you overcome your autoimmune disease. Okay? So our goal for today is to figure out the thoughts that will give you those feelings today. And it will become a practice to think those thoughts, to focus those thoughts, and to grow those thoughts. And that is the work that I alluded to yesterday when we talk about Scripture telling us to take captive our thoughts, to transform our mind, to speak the truth in love. That's in Ephesians. Fill your mind with what's true, compelling, gracious. What thoughts will compel you to action out of an energy of gratitude and appreciation and stewardship of your body? Now, let's talk about self-love for a moment, because in Christian culture, sometimes self-love is frowned upon because we think that if we think we are awesome, we don't see our need of Christ. And let's back that up a little bit. Because in the eyes of Christ, you are his precious daughter. You never stop being his daughter, even if you stray and come back around. And what thoughts do you want your daughter, I'm just going to use that because I have girls, that's what I relate to think about her body, to think about her body image, to think about compassion for herself, appreciation for herself. Okay, love is like this fluffy term, self-love. Yes, it can be twisted and manipulated in the wrong way, but we can't be like, nope, I gotta be humble. Humble is not thinking poorly of yourself. Humble is being so confident, collected, calm, settled, that drama does not disturb that. Okay? When you are settled in your identity, you are resilient, right? And the opinions of others, the thoughts of others, the circumstances of the world around you, when the jeans are a little tight, when you get hit with that new diagnosis, when you walk through a trial of frustration and lack, you are settled, you are resilient because you have that identity and you know who you are. And if you don't feel like you have that identity, or that's not like, you can't touch it, you can't feel it, then I'm going to encourage you to go spend some time with Jesus until you can stand in that identity. Okay? That is truly what this all boils down to. We can talk about diets, the plan, how to eat, how to balance your blood sugars, how to work on your gut health. We can talk about that up to the wazoo. But your identity is what you act on. Okay? So, what would it look like to love and appreciate who you are right now while working on what you want to become? Okay, we think those are two different things. Oh, I can't work on me. If I'm working on me, then I must not be satisfied with where I am. Or if I'm satisfied with where I am, then why would I want to work on me? We think those cannot coexist. And I'm here to tell you that they can coexist. Okay? Now, this is not complacency. Complacency is like, Well, what the heck? Why should I even try? Complacency is self-pity. Complacency is like, I ain't got no goals. I guess it is what it is. I guess I'm just going to have to learn to love myself like this. No, we're not talking about complacency. We are talking about loving, accepting, stewarding, feeling proud of who you are today as you do the things to sustain that and to improve that. Does that make sense? If so, give me a heart if you're watching live. Find gratitude in who you are today. Tight pants and all. What if you already believed that your goal was going to happen? What if you already believed that you could lose the 20 pounds this year? What if you already believed that you could overcome your autoimmune challenges? What if you already believed that you could be consistent with exercise? You could improve the diet of your kiddos. What if you already believe that? How would you act? Would you obsess with what the scale says if you actually knew and believed that it was going to happen? And even if it didn't, you would still be worthy? Okay, these are tough. These are tricky. Take notes, wrestle with it. Because if you believe that, and if you work on those thoughts, then your brain goes to work finding the actions, okay? Our brain likes a project. It likes a question. It is basically like, yes, ma'am, I'll make sure that happens today, okay? Now, so often, speaking of these subconscious thoughts, you wake up in the morning, you're like, why am I so tired? It's going to be a long day. When can I get a nap? And your brain says, yes, ma'am, I'll make sure that happens today. Or you go to cook dinner and you're like, why don't my kids eat the peas and the carrots? Why should I cook them anyways? It's not worth it. And your brain says, yes, ma'am, I'll make sure that happens today. Or you stand in the pantry and you say, well, why can't I resist those Oreos? I just keep giving in. Yes, ma'am, I'll make sure that happens today. Are you seeing this connection between your thoughts and then your feelings and then your actions? Right? Yes, Angie says, I love this concept. Now, let's tackle a little thing that food isn't moral, okay? We have placed too much morality on food being good or bad, better or worse. And yeah, I'm a dietitian. I'm like queen of this. This is what I am trained in. But I am realizing that there are multiple paths to get to the goal. And what Angie needs to follow for her body is different from what Melissa needs to follow and is different from what Victoria needs to follow. And the only way to create a sustainable change is to work on that identity and work on that mindset and work on those thoughts, okay? So when you think the blanket statement, well, I need to eat better, another cookie cutter answer, what does that mean? It really doesn't matter what that means. What you need to take it to the next level, you need to say, what are you thinking about yourself as you reach for that food? Okay, if you're at Thanksgiving dinner and you're reaching for that piece of pie and you are enjoying fellowship with your family and you are making memories and you are like squirting whipped cream on the pie and then you put some on that little niece or nephew's nose and you laugh and yet you're full of shame on Monday. No, decide how you're going to feel on Monday. You are going to feel a deep gratitude for the time that you spent with family, okay? Because an imperfect food eaten in an attitude of gratitude and stewardship will actually digest better and be less inflammatory to your body than a nearly perfect food eaten in a state of guilt, anxiety, and overwhelm. This is that mind-body connection where there's so much more than meets the eye, so much more than like calories in, calories out. And when you're seeking food freedom, we cannot put food on a pedestal to the point that we have. Is that making sense? So what are you thinking to yourself when you reach that food? Are you trying to force an outcome? If you're trying to force an outcome, that's performance. And performance isn't sustainable. Okay? And I'm pretty sure that if you do the work to find gratitude for what is, I'm pretty sure that you will know the areas that need some focus, some dedication from some support. Maybe you need some targeted community support. Maybe you need to surround yourself with people that are uplifting and that are doing things like this so it's easier for you to do them. Maybe you need to try some new veggies in an act of curiosity. Maybe you need to move your body because you love being strong and you want to stay being strong. You want to keep that strength. Maybe you need to take a walk with your kids to create quality memory and be an example of stewarding your body for them year after year, day after day. You've seen how the energy, the same action coming from an energy and the thoughts of I love what is and I'm working on what I want is totally different. This is why we cannot judge somebody's actions at the level of actions. Okay? You might want to judge that sister for doing green smoothies every day, or that one who is literally at the gym every single day. Okay? None of that here. And then, if you really want to sit with this, sit down with the question, what if no pounds were lost? What if you knew that, and I'm just talking about weight loss because that's so many people's struggle. And if that's not your struggle, insert your struggle. What if no pounds were lost? What if you did all the things and no pounds were lost in 20 years? Would you rather have spent that 20 years striving, pushing, trying in guilt and frustration and irritation, disliking your body all the time? Or can you get your headspace to a place where you would still look on that 20 years with gratitude, with appreciation, with pride and joy and resilience and a deep sense of gratitude and a deep sense of passion for doing the work? Now, if you're doing all the things with that energy, there will be change in your body. But if we don't at least talk about that, there will always be that little dust bunny under the bed rearing its ugly head every once in a while. Okay? So, this is day 2 where we wrestle with the thoughts. I truly believe that a lack of food freedom is a misaligned identity, a mismanaged mind as far as our thoughts go. And there are some actual physical reasons. We'll talk about that tomorrow. I'll give you a little bit of an overview over like what to do as far as helping keep hunger at bay. What does it take to actually fuel your body well? We'll actually talk about the practicalities of like food and supplementation and, you know, because you need knowledge as well. But that knowledge must be seen under the overhead of I love what is while I work on what I want. All right? Thanks you all for watching today. I will be back tomorrow about this time and we'll get a little more practical. But I am so happy that we're able to have this time together to dive into these things. And I firmly believe that you putting in the work and you showing up and you listening, that things are changing, that things are clicking, and that your mind is being transformed. You might have a breakthrough today. You might have a breakthrough yesterday. You might have a breakthrough in 3 weeks. But it is worth it. And I'm glad you are here. You are a loved and cherished daughter of God. Your body is good. Your body is capable of change. Your body is a blessing. Okay? Your body is capable of healing. And if it doesn't, if there is a residual weakness, God can also use that for His glory. Okay? Remember yesterday? Your weaknesses make you usable. Don't run away from those. Lean into them. All right? I'll see you guys tomorrow.